morning, got my own way to go. No time for worries, let the trivial flow. Eyes on the prize, I ain't looking back. Carrying the weight, but I ain't cutting no slack. They say I'm reckless, but I just call it free. Living my truth, that's the way it's gotta be. Tired of the chatter, tired of the lies. I'm flying higher, cutting all the ties. I don't give a damn, I don't give a fuck. Gonna live my life, ain't about to get stuck. Rolling with the punches, dancing in the rain. Laughing at the chaos, ain't feeling no pain. People try to tell me you gotta play it safe, but I'm running wild, I ain't no one's slave. Chasing down my dreams, got no time to waste. Feeling the freedom, loving the taste.
Welcome back, Charles. Welcome back.
What up, broski?
Oh, great. We're rolling through. We're making it through the preseason. We believe we have one game tomorrow night with the Patriots and the Eagles.
Yeah, and
Looking forward to see Drake May. Breaking news
today. What was his name? Duran there? Duran?
Yeah.
The linebacker for the Pittsburgh, or for the Patriots, traded to the Falcons today. It makes that big Phoenix Energy pick look even better now, bro. Because everyone was upset you didn't have a pass rusher. Guess what? The Falcons just got a pass rusher now. It's almost like the Falcons with that number 8 pick were like, yo, something's gonna open up. Like, I can just feel things are opening up really well for the Falcons right now.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins plays a little bit like he did for Minnesota. And if Drake London and Kyle Pitts and what's old boy's name there, the running back? Good dude.
Well, Bijan.
Bijan Robinson. Bro, they have a decent offense. I'm telling you, the Falcons are much better. It's crazy to say, a pass rusher. They just picked up one guy who no one was talking about the Falcons yesterday.
They had a decent defense. They just didn't have a pass
They didn't
rusher.
have a pass rusher. Now here's the so the simplistic thought behind it is, you have a pass rusher. Why don't you just double team that guy? You double team that guy, and you're leaving something else open. So now with a good defensive mind, I can throw zone blitzes at you per se.
Yeah.
And the zone, absolutely. And now that you've double teamed that guy, that blitzer comes off free, right? Or if you catch the blitz, you've held the running back. Now you've only got 3 wide receivers out there. The defense is going to win that more often than not. So it really does change a lot. It changes the whole scheme of things. And the dude was still great in this scenario, and he was getting double teamed with the Patriots. So the Patriots are in a much better division than the Falcons. This dude's going to eat in the NFC South, bro.
Yeah. So it's safe to say that possibly New England and the Patriots are probably mailing it in for the season. They're not probably going to try to go gung-ho here, giving up. They gave up a lot for that. Did they get anything in return, or? I guess maybe details aren't even out yet, quite possibly.
Patriots trade Matthew Judon to Falcons. The deal is in the final stages and expected to be completed soon.
Okay, yeah, nothing.
This is like within the hour.
Yeah, real breaking news.
Yeah. From the time of this cast, absolutely. What I'm looking at right now, your major news and sports news sites have just gotten their articles out within the last 36 minutes, I think.
Fresh meat.
6:43 p.m., 8/14/2024 Central time zone area. Yeah, so it opens up a hell of a lot of doors for the Falcons. There's a lot of scuttlebutt around CD Lamb right now.
Yeah, I did pick up on that you and Paul were talking about that.
CD Lamb isn't coming to Green Bay.
No. And what's funny
is CD Lamb's staying in Detroit or Dallas.
Did you try? You know where that all stemmed from, though. The scuttlebutt came from is that he was asked by a reporter what are some teams that you'd like to play for, and he just reeled off some good NFC teams. He was like, this team, that team, and he's like Green Bay. Like, he was just basically saying teams that like have good fans, that are places that players like to go.
It's so weird. Green Bay has never really been a place that you go. Green Bay has been a place where you grow and stay because you fell in love with the culture, right?
Yeah.
there has been a wild culture shift in the sense that players want to come to Green Bay. Do we think this is because of Jordan Love? And because people knew... Wait, what happened? I can't... Say something?
I said I'd want to play with him.
Absolutely. But did players really not want to play with Aaron Rodgers?
It's really starting to look more and more like that.
Because Aaron Rodgers, in many conversations outside of Super Bowl rings, can be measured as a GOAT, realistically. Yet, as a wide receiver or an offensive lineman, like maybe not so much a running back per se, but or even a tight end, like I would want to play with that type of person, right? People want to play with Patrick Mahomes and shit like that.
Yeah, of course.
Now, Josh Jacobs came to Green Bay because of Jordan Love. McKinney came to Green Bay because of what Green Bay's building and the energy. That dude left New York City for Green Bay, Wisconsin, where all you hear from Chicago is what's there to do in Green Bay, yet all they do is come and vacation up in this motherfucker.
I was about to say, should anybody that lives down in Chicago ever fucking say a single word about that? Because you go on the highway and anytime from May until September, and you're behind one of those assholes. Like,
I mean, it's
going either direction.
We could like fib, right?
Yeah.
We see you all the time. There's a name for you.
Okay, you guys want to know what that stands for? If you do not know what the acronym for fib stands for, it's fucking Illinois bastard. Just so you know.
Yeah, but it seems like there's been a massive culture twist.
It's been a shift, for sure.
There is,
like you said, Charles. Is this the spinning? Is this the axis spinning and reverse rotation? It's not. Let's be honest. Jordan Love has a lot to do with this.
No, I think Jordan Love does have a lot to do with this. I think Matt LaFleur's offense has a lot to do with it. And from what I'm seeing from Halfley, our defense is going to have a lot to do with it. Bro, they're doing all of these innovative things,
and way more pre-snap motion, and
even in the one-on-one drills with the coaches, right? Like I was just watching videos where Quay Walker was having a towel in front of his face, and then at the last second a ball would get shot at him, the towel would move, and he would have to catch the ball, and then it was like the towel was there, the ball was in the hand. Yeah, dude, bro, Quay Walker might be.
He's a monster.
Bro.
If he ever puts it all together, he's a fucking monster.
Halfley might unlock this dude's Pandora box.
I would absolutely love
I'm
that.
so excited about it, dude. I'm just excited about our defense. Every day they're getting interceptions and big defense plays. If you're the number 2 or number 3 offense, like you're crying at night, bro. You're tired. You're doing push-ups.
Well, that's the thing. You did mention this before. We know what we got with the offense. You've got a bunch of ball hawks out there, guys on offense that are going to go out and get the ball. Jordan Love's going to get the ball. He's going to spread. He's going to sprinkle it around everybody.
Yeah, if you're open, you're going to get the ball. Yeah. And you'll get it placed a hell of a lot better. I do want to give a shout out to Bo Melton, right? We talked about him a little bit on the Sunday cast. Clifford did not help Bo out.
No, that was part of it too. And then he had Pratt come in, and Pratt and him, you could tell there wasn't a lot of chemistry there.
Yeah. I expect much bigger things from Bo this game. And the same thing with Dylan as well. Dylan came out in a presser and was like, you can't do what I do. Listen, man, don't get out of your head. We're going to talk about what we're going to talk about regardless. You need to worry about football.
The fact that LaFleur goes, did you see the Pat McAfee show? They brought it up too. He was talking about, they keep asking him if you got a number 1 receiver, and LaFleur's like, you guys keep asking these stupid questions, make me want to vomit. And they literally took that as Bears fans, that Matt LaFleur is going to puke all over the field because he can't stand the way the Packers are playing on offense. No, that's not what they said at all. Way to twist that one. But
he's got, I mean, it's smart. It's smart. Think of it. The moment you start tagging somebody with the number 1 term, they want number 1 money.
Yeah.
If we're being realistic, and when you've got a room stacked like Green Bay does, the wide receiver room is stacked, dude. Didn't
they have 2 or 3 guys with 8 touchdowns last year?
Yeah. Jordan Love's going to pass the ball around. Yeah. And when Tucker Kraft being healthy,
two healthy, good tight ends is going to help a lot.
Yeah, it's going to. But honestly, I'm just as I was last year. Except there isn't excitement with the offense. There's expectation that will reward excitement. But with the defense, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see this defense play hungry. I'm excited to see them make their mistakes early, get it out of the way.
And they're
I'm not going to be upset if we start.
Season.
I'm not going to be upset if we start off 1-1. We're new and we're learning on that defensive side, but the Eagles on the same front are that. We'll be talking about that more Sunday and coming up next week.
Yeah.
I'm very pumped about that. But I'm excited for what our football season has. I think the quarterback position, a lot of people were in love with Cliffy. I've got a couple cards behind me that I was hoping would be a hell of a lot more than just $1.20 because they're parallels, but they're looking to be like $1.20 parallels.
Here's the problem with Clifford.
I think Pratt's going to fucking be the number 2.
Pratt seems like okay, let's just be honest. By watching the game, Clifford's got next to Love, he's got the strongest arm. Second best, strongest arm. Pratt, his abilities are being able to read where the linebackers are going. He can read coverage.
Yeah.
Because he found open receiver.
And he's more accurate than Clifford. Clifford missed out on yards after the catch on every one of his throws.
Because he throws
it behind.
Too hard or too hard.
He throws it too hard, but he waits to see the wide receiver open. He's not throwing with anticipation, right? That's when the ball is consistently behind the wide receiver. That means the quarterback is throwing to an open wide receiver. Yeah. There's no anticipation. And like you were just saying, Pratt has that anticipation. And I think that's why it looks better.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see because the wide receivers, man, I enjoy our wide receivers. I don't really want to see any of them go. Like the chemistry that's building, right? Let's just pretend there was that trade, Christian Watson and a third and a fifth round for a third round next year and a fifth round the year after that, right? For CeeDee Lamb. And it's okay, cool. But CeeDee Lamb comes in and expects 40% of the ball. That completely changes the offense.
Right.
It really does. Yeah, so now you've got Jordan Love having to hyper focus and what I love how we are set up right now. I love the freedom to play. We have dudes that can catch, and we've got a dog in the backfield, bro. We haven't talked about him much yet. We're going to, but Josh Jacobs, bro, we're going to be talking about him every single fucking week.
And I pray that Marshawn Lloyd gets healthy as well, because he is another beast that we can have in the backfield.
Yeah, we just signed another running back from the UFL. That running back room is going to be packed. A lot of these people are going to be put onto the practice squad, but because of the NFL rules now, and it's so easy to bring a guy up.
I think they did expand like 3 actually. They allow him to have 67 instead of 65 now, or 63. I can't remember what it was.
Outside of the first round draft pick not playing yet, that really bums me out. And again, I need to put context into this, I believe. Yeah. I'm not upset with the player. The player, regardless of what's going to happen, is going to be fine, like in this scenario.
Okay, here's breaking news from yesterday. Green Bay rookie offensive lineman Jordan Morgan, the Packers' first-round pick in the 2024 draft, will be out at least a week with a shoulder injury. The floor set on Wednesday. Morgan is projected as a starter at right guard. Was injured during the Tuesday's practice. That was 2 days ago.
He's projected as the starting right guard.
Yeah, so they have high expectations for him.
Ooh, thank you for that, Patrick. Thank you for that, Patrick, because I was about to jump face first off what I thought was a small hill, and it ended up being a bottomless cliff. I appreciate that.
You said this after we got to reflect on it on the draft. You brought up the fact that this guy was projected to be a first-round pick, a high first-round pick. He just got hurt. He tore his ACL or was an MCL, and he just had a rough season. He had to go through the motions of recovery, rehab.
And the coaching staff was probably very friendly. Hey, this guy's going to be in the NFL. Let's not use him much. Let's allow him to be him.
He went to a fucking party school too at Arizona State. So yeah, everybody thought that maybe this guy just went there to have fun.
Yeah, there's actually a massive backstory behind why he ended up going to that school and everything. Yeah, it's okay. All right.
Yeah, now I have even higher expectations.
Now I have even higher expectations. That's fantastic. Yeah. It might be the smoking gun that people just start talking about it because
It's good that nobody's
because
talking
Green Bay
about it.
doesn't want people talking about him.
Yeah, it keeps the pressure off of him. Nobody's asking.
But he's
where
going to
is.
get attacked this year, especially at right
Oh,
guard.
for
There's
sure.
a
As a
lot
rookie-
of players coming from
Oh,
that
yeah.
end. J.J. Watt or T.J. Watt. Let's see. What's that dude who dies closer towards the end of the season? He falls off hard. Plays for the Cowboys. He's got his own podcast.
Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons.
huh?
Yeah,
Starts
about week
fast
9,
and
week 10.
fizzles
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Week 9, week 10. He's tired. Can't play because he had to play too hard. But anyways, yeah, that guy
He was
comes
up
from
all
that
night
side.
editing that podcast.
Yeah, that guy comes. That guy comes from that side also.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, right guard's gonna be tough, man.
Yeah.
It's definitely not left tackle tough, but right guard's
No,
gonna
not
be.
left tackle tough, but
Right guard's gonna be tough. It'll be fun to see. I trust our offensive line. To be honest with you, it's the cool part about our offensive line is it's like a clock, bro. And it's
Yeah.
just got all of these pieces that are working together, right? But, just like a clock, it's got extra pieces that if one of these pieces gets hurt or needs repaired, you could throw in the other piece and it's going to keep working.
ticking.
Right?
Yeah, it keeps on ticking.
Yeah, I like it. I love our offense. I'm very excited about it. Again, dude, I can't get away from the defense. I'm very excited about our defense this year. They're going to be playing very hungry.
I did not notice a lot of it until Van Ness started showing out. I actually wasn't really paying attention after Love got that touchdown pass, and I was focused more on the offense. Maybe I was ignoring the defense and the scheme and the way that they were doing things, but it seemed like the players were a lot more comfortable in that defense as well.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
more of a
100%.
natural style defense for a lot of those players.
It's almost, I guess, from the players' mouths would be the best way to put it. They don't have to think as much. They just get to go out there and play and communicate. That was the biggest thing, and you can see the communication now, and it was just week 1 preseason. It's funny that you mentioned that, though, because I wasn't really paying attention to the offense either. There were specific players when I would see them in, but when the offense came back on the field, I went to scrolling, and then I went back to watching the defense. I was pretty excited about that. I was laughing, too. I was like, man, the Browns want to score a touchdown so bad they're leaving in Taylor, and this dude gets hurt, after 3 games. I'm like,
I didn't.
You got to calm down.
that.
I know he's your backup, but Deshaun Watson is not a reliable quarterback.
Speaking of leaving players in, we'll keep it in the NFL. Talk about Gerard Mayo telling the players the starters, if they fight, you're playing the whole quarter. And if you fight and you're a backup, the whole game, yes.
The whole game,
right.
yeah.
And if you're a backup, you ain't playing at all.
Yeah.
Now, that, to me, it's the dumbest, smartest thing I've ever heard a coach say. Because, for one, it's gonna really direct the players to be like, hey, behave yourselves. You're adults. Come on, you're men. And on the other hand, I'm like, if they do play the whole game and get hurt, that's on the fucking coach. That's his ass. That's your problem. You're the one that said this shit. And then I'm like, it teaches them not to fight. But it could have backfired on them too. That's for sure. That's the only thing about it that I picked up on anyway.
Yeah, but see, I had this internal conversation about it as well. Because when I first heard it, that was my reaction was, what the fuck? And then I started to think about it. And I got to the injury portion of it, and I went, okay, put yourself in Mayo's shoes. All right, you got to stop these fighting. And dudes don't want to be out there preseason. I know, because I was a player.
Yeah.
That's something that I ended up thinking about way too late. But Mayo is a former player. He knows what punishment would resonate the most with a player. Because me, as a starter, ain't no way I want to be playing in those first couple weeks.
But that's the fucked up part about it? You're telling players you have to play, and you're like,
yeah.
as a fan that sees this, they're probably like, what the fuck? But as a player, they're probably like, yeah, that ain't, no way you catching my ass out there throwing.
I don't mind playing 10, 15 minutes. I got 10, 15 minutes in the tank all day, but you got me playing an hour. Okay, so then I was like, yeah, but what if I get injured? Because I'm not ready. My offseason wasn't preparing me for this.
I'm a slacker. Bonus, all this.
Yeah, what if I coach is going to be in trouble? Then I got to get back to the coach thought, right?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, if you're hurt, it's because you fucked up.
Yeah.
It's because you fucked up and made me put you out there. it ain't my fault that you got hurt. You shouldn't have been fighting in practice. You could have got hurt in that fight, and then you would have. At least now you're hurt playing, right? Yeah. There's a legitimate reason why you're hurt. Let's say you break your hand in that fight. Now you're out. Now you're out on a non-game injury list. You ain't even getting paid, bro. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a beauty. Once like you start chopping into it,
yeah, that's
like
what I
you're
did. Like at first, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
and then I read into it more, and I'm like, "Okay, I get it."
Yeah, well done. And then two, he really is like fucking. People are gonna start calling him the Black Belichick, BB, man. Like they got to, right? Yeah. Like you see it in his mindset. I think the Patriots are gonna be okay. Yeah, I really do. I think the losses will be methodical. I think
it is just.
I think it's going to be a lot of learning.
Yeah.
Few years. Yeah. I think they're going to be in prime position to pick up a really good player in the draft next year. Yeah. They just got more draft picks from a team that basically is Super Bowl or bust for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
They gave up quite a bit. And they're starting to pay out. So they're going to have to wait a few years for that salary cap regardless. Right. Which,
at the rate that it's going, yeah.
You look at the NFL right now.
Yeah.
And if you're not one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the NFL, like a Super Bowl realistically isn't in your future. Playoff, and maybe a playoff win or 2, yes. But the top of the NFL right now is very good, right? Kansas City's very good. If the Jets stay healthy, they're going to be very good. You got the Ravens, you've got the Bengals, you've got the Browns, you've got the Bills. You see what I'm saying? So, and even in the NFC, you've got Dallas, which is a good regular season team, but still you got Dallas. Hopefully you end up playing Dallas in the playoffs, right? But you got Dallas, the 49ers, Green Bay, the Eagles. Who else am I missing here? In the NFC, the Rams.
You get the Rams.
You know, the Lions. Sorry, the Lions.
Right, just say Detroit, yeah.
Yeah, and honest to God, the Bears on paper, we'll talk about paper here coming up with college football, but the Bears on paper, they've got a chance to be great in the next couple of years. So you're thinking, go ahead.
I was just going to say, poor Josh Allen, he's out a wide receiver already, and Chase Claypool got hurt. I'm like, he's out for the season. I'm like, this is just typical Josh Allen.
I'm not worried about the Bills, bro.
Losing everything.
Yeah, they got 2 wide receivers right now. Not a lot of people know about. In Sakari, hold on. I don't want to tell too many people about it, so I'm going to talk about it now one time and never talk about it again. But Khalil Shakir, right? That dude.
Well, yeah, he's their number 1.
Wow, yeah. And then Samuel or Coleman.
They have Curtis Samuel, yeah.
Yeah, listen, they're going to be fine, bro. Do you know last year Shakir there, Shakari, whatever. I'm sorry, I'll figure his name out eventually.
The guy from Buffalo.
Yeah. Khalil, we'll call him. Khalil, not the Mac. Khalil, not the Mac.
Return to the Mac.
But anywho, per target, he averaged something like 2.4 or 4.2 fantasy points, right? With an 84% efficiency. Okay, so now the target share is going to go up, so that efficiency is going to go down. It'll even itself out. But the big thing to look at and like to think about, especially fantasy-wise, is that points per target. And now his targets are going to go up, right? Like I'm telling you, Buffalo's probably going to be a lot better. Buffalo's offense now gets to work like Jordan Love's offense. That's the thing, right? When you don't have that guy that is expecting the ball 49% of the time, when you have a team that can just play and a quarterback with the ability to find somebody who's open. I think this is why I'm not worried. I'm worried about playing the Bills, but why I'm not worried if I'm a Bills fan about this offense thing. When you're a great quarterback, and this will more or less be the paragraph that ends the Josh Allen conversation outside of a Super Bowl win, right? It'll definitely shut people like me up, who's like, when you're a great quarterback, it doesn't matter. Like, would Jordan Love be a worse quarterback without a number 1 wide receiver? No.
You'd be a worse. No.
No. In theory, according to everyone out there, Jordan Love doesn't have a number one wide receiver, right?
Oh, he's got 5 of them, six of them, yeah.
5 or 6 of them. But Josh Allen, we're looking at the same scenario, right? And it just takes one other person, other than the 2 we just named, one other person to go, hey, I belong here. That's all it takes. And those dudes are all over the NFL. They fight so hard to get there. I imagine Buffalo will find that guy who's with Josh Allen, because a lot of the times in these scenarios, right, like the quarterback is either less or different, right? Josh Allen isn't expected to be less than what he was last year. He's still climbing towards the plateau of his prime.
No, I think just losing Singletary, I think, was the one thing that everybody shrugged their shoulders at. We're like, I guess that's one thing they had to figure out. But
yes. And maybe this is the year where Josh Allen has an extra 250 rushing yards.
It's entirely
right?
possible.
And that's the figured out part, right? Like more read options or broken plays or rollouts without because when you roll out without a blocker, you don't bring anyone else with you. So when you've sold your play action enough, which Josh Allen has the ability to do, you get them extra 15, 20-yard rollout rushing yards.
A lot of these teams are going to get tested in the first 3 weeks of the season. We're going to be able to figure out what they're all about. The Packers, the Eagles. There's some good games the first 3 weeks of the season. It's going to be interesting.
It's the fucking NFL, Patrick. We shouldn't be playing Fresno State Bulldogs in the fucking NFL, right? I'm sorry, the Carolina Panthers. My bad.
The Carolina Panthers.
There needs to start being punishments for teams being terrible. There needs to be, right? You need to start losing. You need to start losing draft picks, right? Or maybe, I don't know. Like, it needs to start getting serious, because some of these fan bases are. It's funny to me. I heard it earlier on the radio, right? If American public sports are literally the only thing that you can be absolutely terrible in and nothing happens to you. Like, it makes no sense to me. Like, if you're in a public company or even a private company and you do terrible, like, you're getting ousted. You're out. You're gone, right? If you're in one of these European leagues and you do terrible, you get relegated. You're out. You're gone.
Speaking of which, did you see Pat McAfee brought it up about the breakdancer at the Olympics, that ray gun?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll break it down for you real quick. So apparently her boyfriend or husband or whoever she's with was on the Olympic committee.
I was just reading about this.
That actually scored her score and allowed her to. Did you see the video of the person she was going against? That person could freaking dance, dude.
It was all her friends and family members in that competition that she was going against. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I guess Australia, or there's a group out there pushing for them to be sued. It's a really
because they ruined it. The
breakdancing's now gone in 2028.
Oh, yeah, like, good.
Yeah, it's gone. There's no way to govern it.
But it.
Well, somebody had just said too. I don't know if I was listening to it or reading it. I'm not sure, but like they had said a majority of this is super fucked up, but they might not be wrong.
Yeah,
a majority of your great breakdancers are probably in neighborhoods not getting recognized.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In all over the world, right? Like we're a global cast. We're talking about all over the world. Absolutely. Yeah. We still see you out there. Ni hao ma, all that stuff. Yeah. If you can good eat, like, just give me 12 seconds and I can remember all of you. Trust me. We care about you all. But yeah, it's very, very disgusting. The Olympics in general, it just have a terrible smell about them.
The IOC like has their head like up their ass, their own asses. It's just it's this way it always will be.
I will go on record that the next Summer Olympics women's basketball games will gather more views than the men's ball games.
In Los Angeles, it fucking better. Let's be
honest.
Well,
globally, like I was looking at some of the numbers globally, like 31 million people a day watched the Olympics. With the absolute largest day, I think it was like 50-some million or 61 million or some shit like that.
Is that when the men and women played?
Was watching the men's basketball game specifically. Yeah. Now, again, there was a lot to do with that. You had America versus France, the host. Yeah. So, like, all eyeballs. That was probably one of those scenarios where there wasn't a channel in France that didn't have that game on it. But with the WNBA rookies, the rookie superstars right now, pretty much guaranteed to be on the next Olympic roster.
That was
barring an injury.
barely sniffing past France in the
You're going to
gold
get that
medal game.
Caitlin Clark and Angela Reese crowd watching the Olympics, bro, and it's going to be
And you want to know what's gonna
insane.
backfire on the whole Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark thing is the fact that I think in the offseason these two people are going to bury it. They're going to bury the hatchet.
I think they already have, bro, if we're
I
being
think they already
honest.
have, too.
Yeah.
Pretty quiet.
Well, WNBA will be coming back August 16th, I believe, or
Yep.
August 19th.
It's coming back this weekend, I believe.
Yeah. So that'll be pretty intense. We'll see. We'll see. It could just be entertainment. I think the WNBA is terribly mismanaged as it is, regardless.
Yeah.
And way up on a high horse. But anywho, back to the NFL. I do want to give a couple fantasy sleepers, and we'll move on to college football. I think if we've tackled everything. Specifically in training camp, Jordan Love did well. He did leave the offense to scoring drive. He also got picked off by Jair Alexander throwing across his body back over the field. Not even sure why he did that. I think anybody could have picked that off. But anywho, so I want to just give a couple random top 5 running back fantasy sleepers.
I got one too if you want to get on there.
Oh, yeah. I think each show we're going to shoot out some.
Let's just do let's just do one each then.
Give yours and then I'll give my 5.
You're going to get 5? Ooh.
Well, yeah, it's just a list. I found random people's list on the internet. It's not my actual list. I'm still building my cheat sheet, and I don't know if I'm ever going to tell anybody about the cheat sheet, to be honest with you. But there is a running back on this list that I have on my cheat sheet.
All right, I got 2.
Yeah.
I got Gus Edwards for the LA Chargers.
Okay.
And I've got Blake Corum
Okay.
for the Los Angeles Rams. Those are my 2 sleeper running backs.
It looks like Blake Corum is planning on taking plus 40% of the workload this year.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see a little bit of him in this next preseason game, which is exciting. Yeah, I think Sean McVay is going to do a lot of things with Blake Corum. I really do. His hands are phenomenal. His vision's great, and his ability to run is pretty.
Field from Stafford. That's what Stafford's great at, too.
Yeah. I like that. So right now I've got Zach Charbonnet from the Seattle Seahawks. He's coming in.
Is he the only running? Is he their starter?
I believe he's their starter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tyler Algier from the Atlanta Falcons. He'll be RB2. Yeah. Again, these are sleepers. You're not going to want to touch these realistically in the first few rounds.
8th, 9th round.
Yeah. If you're looking to fill your bench, or if you're hoping for a home run, again, but if you're in a deep league, a 12 or more team league, these might be good for you. So far we had Zach Charbonnet, Tyler Algier, Khalil Herbert from the Chicago Bears.
That's a good pick.
I like Herbert's body,
Yeah.
and I like the thought process with Herbert that the workhorse will get you inside the 20s, and then Herbert will slip through a couple tackles and grab a few extra touchdowns.
He's gonna steal a few tutties for sure.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't mind that one. I do Samaje Perine from the Denver Broncos, right? If you can get the Denver Broncos #1 running back, Sean Payton loves screen passes, right? So you're gonna get points from this guy, and I think Denver's gonna be a lot better than people give them credit for, to be honest with you.
I think a lot of teams are, yeah.
And then my last one is Tank Bigsby from the Jacksonville Jaguars. I actually really like Tank. He's low on a lot of people's list. I really like Tank. I like what he can do. I like his hands. And
ETN underperformed last year, so I can see that.
yeah, I do. I like him as a #2. Again, though, with this scenario, right?
Yeah.
ETN being a workhorse is going to get you into the 20, and then old boy is going to slip a few tackles.
Let's just say it, Charles. If you need a guy to vulture you a touchdown here or there, these are your guys.
Yeah.
Charbonnet might be your home run guy because he's got speed, but the rest of them, they could be vultured touchdowns.
That sleeper list, I believe, is tailored more towards your powerhouse teams, right? Where you're getting a shitload of points from your RB1s, your wide receiver, and your quarterback. So you've either spent a lot on that scenario, or you've picked that, and now because you're in a position Now you've got to get a quarterback early because of where you are. So there's a lot to take into consideration there with that list. That's not my list personally. I'm not going to tell you where I got it from, but it's not my list personally. But it is a good list. It's well worth looking at. And then I do want to shout out a wide receiver, just one. Darnell Mooney from the Atlanta Falcons. Pick him up in the 5th round or later. Late 5th round or later wouldn't be a terrible option. Coming into college football, August 31st, first game for Michigan. Fresno State Bulldoggies. Let's see. The preseason poll has us coming in at number 9. Preseason projected playoff has us in the playoffs with 3 losses.
It's going to be very hard for Michigan with that schedule to get in the playoffs.
3 losses and we're in. We can lose to Texas. We can lose to Oregon. We can lose to Ohio State. I don't want to, but we can lose to those 3. If we win at Washington and win out the rest, we're fine.
Penn State's going to be tough.
You and I have this conversation every year, and I love it. I love it.
But J.J. McCarthy was the difference last year. So was Blake Corum.
They did run 32 straight times. Yeah, I don't think J.J. had, but yeah.
J.J. got him down there a couple times. Like they threw the ball in the first half. He kept I think he threw a touchdown game. Yeah, I just don't. The offensive line, they lost 17 players.
I remember this conversation last year too. Different numbers.
We didn't lose anybody last year.
We lost a lot of people last year. Hell yeah, we did.
We had a lot of guys coming back last year.
We had people coming back. I'm just saying. I remember this conversation too. I am the forever optimist in this scenario, right? Michigan has yet to prove me wrong, and that's how I'm going into this, right? Sharon Moore has proven he can coach in those big games. You don't go to Michigan to relax, right? So they're going to play tough. We can talk about the elephant in the room here. When you spend $20 million, you're going to have the best roster on paper. But Georgia still came in at number 1. So that tells me a hell of a lot more about the coaching staff in Ohio State than it does about the players. And the same thing happens with Penn State. I don't fear their coaching staff, bro.
The last time a Big Ten team was even preseason ranked number 1 was like Ohio State years and years ago with freaking Urban Meyer. It was a long time, even with the best team.
Yeah,
they just don't like the Big Ten.
And I don't disagree with you there. But again, too, though.
Hey, all the heat is on Ohio State. That's
asking you specifically, whose coaching staff is better, Georgia's or Ohio State?
Georgia.
And that gets you the number 1. If on paper, this team's a little bit better than this team, but the coaching staff is way better than the other coaching staff, I think that was the deciding factor in the number 1 team.
He won a championship. Kirby Smart's a very good coach.
Yeah. And Ohio State dude, I think Ohio State's going to lose to Oregon. To be honest with you, I really do.
I'm excited for that game. I do believe
it's like week 3 or week 4.
No, I'm with you. I don't believe Ohio State is going to go undefeated.
No, and I think we play the game at home. We play the game at home this year, right?
No, it's at Ohio State. They played in Ann Arbor last year.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, Penn State's at home. Okay, so anywho, the coaching staff conversation was more about, dude, Sharon Moore is a more proven coach than Penn State's head coach. Yeah. And last year, like, I get we had the better team. You and I knew that the whole time. Yep. But the conversation was the same. Penn State at Penn State's going to be tough. Oh, Ohio State, it doesn't matter coming into Michigan. I've heard it all before. Their coaching staffs continue to prove to me personally that they fail their team in the big moments. They don't prepare correctly. And you don't coach with Harbaugh for almost 10 years and not pull things that are significant. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'll be wrong this year, but I just don't see it. I think Michigan's going to win the Big Ten again this year. I really do. I say that with all honesty.
That's going to be incredibly tough with Oregon. You got Oregon's going to be a top 5 team. Ohio State's going to be a top 5 team. Yeah. Penn State will be a top 10 team. It's going to. I don't want to put any expectation on. They're coming off a national championship. They're going to have a down year.
This is the lowest ranked national. The lowest ranked team coming off of a national championship since 2011.
Because nobody's lost 17 players before from a national championship team before either.
Yeah. But
the most any team's ever lost is 10.
I think
Alabama or Georgia.
So my thought process with this, right, is Georgia last year, the only reason they were ranked where they are last year was because SEC biased, right?
Yeah. And
They
we're
lost.
gonna get Big Ten bias here pretty soon.
Yeah, they lost just as much games or just as many players,
But they all
maybe a little
But
few.
they all weren't starters though. Michigan lost like
No, I'm saying in this scenario, that Georgia team that won that national championship, bro. Yeah, the entire defensive line, the entire offensive line, fucking a wide receiver or two. Those were the bodies that went to the NFL, right?
But
They came back last year and got
5 stars every year too. So
stop it.
No,
I get what you're trying to say, but
I mean, you can't compare 3 and 4 stars to loading an entire roster full of 5 stars, where you've got literally have another one behind the other one behind the other one.
But this is
Alabama thing,
this is a wait and see conversation. I don't have the SEC bias. I don't give a fuck if you're a 4-star.
I don't have SEC bias. I just there's a reason why those teams are in the national championship year after year. It's because they're loaded. Let's be honest.
Georgia lost to Alabama last year, right?
And was young. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But the arguable, I know I get that one, but arguably Georgia should have been in the playoffs over Alabama.
Why would Michigan be in the playoffs? Is
No,
it because
no,
we
no,
don't
no,
have
no,
4-star
no,
on paper?
No, last year I'm saying Alabama shouldn't even have made the playoffs.
No, I understand that, but that was what I was getting to in this conversation.
Yeah.
Georgia loses 14 NFL starters off their fucking squad, lose to Alabama, and because Nick Saban is going to retire, they get shit on over that, right? The same scenario with Michigan with these now playoff, with 12-team playoff, you don't get shit on.
I can't wait for 30 to come out and say that some umpire, somebody on the board is going to come out and say, yeah, we voted for him just because Saban was retiring.
Yeah, it would be nice to hear, but
yeah,
it's so obvious. It's stupid obvious because Georgia was still the better team. The better team won that game, but Georgia was the better and still is the better team. But beyond SEC, right? Like I'm Big Ten biased. I'll say that out loud, 100%. I do not care about the SEC and your 5 stars on paper because you played you played high school football in a school in Alabama. I don't give a fuck about that.
Outside of going home and there being a UCLA game on at like 11 o'clock at night, back home watching football with my dad, that was the only time I'd ever even watch a game outside of the Big Ten.
Yeah. And you have so much bias when it comes to that because it doesn't matter. I'm willing to put a number over 70% of the people who are recruited as 4 or 5 stars don't end their careers as 4 or 5 stars. In fact, most of them transfer to some shit school to try and incorporate for some other crazy thing, right? Oh, Kyle McCord was the best fucking Ohio quarterback in the world. Oh my God. Couldn't fucking throw a goddamn pass in college football. I don't give a fuck about the stars next to your name. I care about the heart and how hard you play. And those are the players that play at Michigan, right?
I think they're going to regret that one, forcing him out.
Harbaugh?
No, McCord. He had great stats at Ohio State. Just because he had one game. Yeah. He had one bad game versus Michigan, and they freaking forced him out.
Yeah, I think it came down to the head coach or the quarterback.
I think he was pissed. I don't think he got along with Dickhead.
No. And again, too, it's all fine and dandy. The Ohio State spent $20 million to beef up the holes they had. It doesn't matter.
You're still never going to convince me that that's okay for sports. That's not okay for college football. That's fucking in NFL. They just built an NFL caliber roster with money from other people's pockets to make a super uber over competitive football team so that you guys can be like, NIL.
What has Chip Kelly done?
Nothing. He got fat. I don't know. Outside of that, I mean, his cholesterol score got high.
Yeah, but in football,
nothing. What has he done?
I mean, what has he achieved?
Nothing.
I mean, every single player that has ever played for him afterwards has either been terrible or has terrible things to say about him. So what is Chip Kelly going to Ohio State do?
Nothing.
That makes no sense to me.
He's a failed coach in the NFL that decided to go back to college because they offered him a bunch of money. That's it.
And so the other curious thing, too, with this is what has Ryan Day done other than beat terrible college football teams, which is super easy to do.
His record is terrible versus Michigan and versus top 5 teams.
Okay, Rich
BCS
Franklin,
teams? Yeah.
Dick, old Dickie boy.
Old Dickie boy.
Old Dick Franklin, same thing. Terrible record, right? Terrible record, right? This doesn't fucking change overnight. Lamar Jackson, terrible record. He's got just as many MVPs as he does playoff wins. That's not a great stat.
Yeah, freaking Sharon Moore already has two top 5 wins.
Yeah.
Or 2 top 10 wins, and he's only coached 4 games or whatever.
4 games, right? That's like, we on this show, we're very big believers in the writing on the wall.
Look at
Yeah.
it. It's all over.
So until something else changes, something else changes, hail to the victors. Until something else changes, dogs,
People. Well, should we bring it up?
what's that?
Speaking of change, you want to talk about Colorado?
Oh yeah. This is a
Do you
beautiful
wanna-
note to end on.
All right, you want to watch the video then?
Yeah, let's.
Watch the
Yeah,
video.
so there's
Watch-
the Warren
watch-
Sapp video.
Well, just
We've
watch
got
the
a-
video that I made.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, just watch this and laugh, and then let me know what you think about it after. It's only 40 seconds long, and I pulled the best parts of it.
What do you say the biggest thing so far you've learned about just how the game's changed?
They don't like to communicate.
I'm ready to go in, Coach. Just give me a chance. I know there's a lot riding on it, but it's all psychological.
When you pack, a bunch of wild dogs show up in your neighborhood, nobody's coming outside. And that's what I'm telling them. We just gonna show up like a bunch of wild dogs to the stadium, and we gonna hunt. The table is set, let's eat. The other kid, yeah, we just mixing and matching them. We got bullets. You get shot with a 38 or a 9mm, you pick it.
What the hell did you just say?
So that's all you need to watch. That's it. That's the whole clip. That's all you need to watch. So this dude is all right. He's saying that he's got a bunch of dogs on defense, right? Warren Sapp saying he's got a bunch of dogs on defense. Then it's saying, well, what do you mean? What's the best players? He goes, he's naming off a bunch of guys when he's talking about the bullets. He goes, I got this guy and I got that guy. He goes, 38, 9mm. Doesn't matter. You pick. Who you're gonna hit by. It doesn't make any sense to me. Are you saying that you went out and got like dogs? Sure, you might have guys that want to go out there and freaking play hard for you, but you do not have a top 50, top 70 defense. You have a bottom of the barrel, leftover freaking Colorado cupboard defense. That's what you have. You might have Warren Sapp, but my God, did he look confused in that video too?
Yeah, just a good media guy. I think
You
he's
think
crazy.
he's in over his head too?
Oh,
I think he's
definitely.
gonna find out real quick.
It's my biggest thing with it is that they're Colorado.
Yeah.
They're in the middle of nowhere. They've got no money, and they've got a couple of people that have a name that nobody actually wants to play for.
They've
Like,
got this scoreboard that's like this big.
Yeah,
And if they say they raised all this money and they're supposed to build this big scoreboard, build it then.
and even cosmetically, whatever, you got the mountains. That's cool. It's
Yeah.
Football focus wise. Shedeur Sanders is way too hyped. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
He's way too hype, but somebody's gonna get that boy, and they're gonna find out real quick.
Yeah, they've got a terrible offensive line,
Yeah,
and
he'll still be running for his life. I'm
The thing is with it, arguably, is
gonna go through their schedule with you, and I want you to
you can absolutely do that.
wanna
They'll
count
be
the
lucky
wins.
to get 2 wins, bro.
from you. They play a couple non-conference games. Come on.
It doesn't matter. They're a terrible football team, and Prime is not a great coach. He might be a good, or not might be. He is a good person. He's a great person.
Ooh, boy,
right?
they do not start the season off very well. All right.
But yeah.
All right, August 29th, they got their North Dakota State defending
Yeah, no,
champions.
losing that one.
If they lose to a freaking F1 team, FS1 or whatever team it is,
They're going.
yeah, they might win this game. Colorado State,
Doubt it.
UCF,
No.
Arizona,
No.
Texas Tech.
No.
Then Kansas is a top 25
Yeah,
preseason
no.
team, and Nebraska's back with Rule.
No.
And then you got Baylor,
No.
and then you got a really good Kansas State team.
No.
Oh, this one they might win. Cincinnati. They don't know football.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's at home.
Yep.
And then they play Utah.
No.
And then they finished with Oklahoma State. Yeah, Charles, you are not wrong.
They're going to be lucky to get 2 wins this year,
There's
bro.
a couple 50-50 games in there that I was throwing up to you, and you were just like,
If it's 50-50, they lose. And that's period.
The way their offensive line is,
absolutely. The way their defense is also. They can't stop the score, and their offense is stoppable. So, no. Yeah,
their offense seems to stop itself sometimes, too.
And they're not getting better, right? Okay, so they've got better pieces this year than they got last year, but their great pieces this year are leaving next year. And they have no great pieces. You call them great, that's fine, whatever, conversation for a different day. But anyways, their great pieces, in lieu of better words, are gone at the end of this year, right? And who is he? Okay, maybe you go into the transfer portal at that point, but again,
all they've done is get out of transfer
right.
portal.
But here's the kicker, okay?
Yeah.
If I'm we'll go with the stars because that's the stupid shit system that college football uses. But I'm a 4-star or greater quarterback in the transfer portal.
Yep.
Colorado is the last person knocking on my door, right?
Well,
because at this point, you have schools, Oregon, Texas Tech. Like, you've got all these big money schools that are going to come knock on your door. And are you going to go play for one of them? Or
Colorado has a decent side.
I can't hear you.
Collected a lot of money for NIL.
Okay.
That's why they get a lot of guys to go there, but they're not going to be beating out teams like you said, Oregon, Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia for a 4-star, even a high.
I've heard. Well, that's exactly just like you said, and more or less cemented my point.
Yeah.
And Colorado's got NIL money. That's great. But Ohio State still spent $20 million, and people would rather go to Ohio State
people want to
than
go where
Colorado.
they're win.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not only that, right? Like, you're in a terrible conference.
Yeah.
You're in a terrible conference. So I'm not, as a scout, like, I got to choose to see what games I go to, right?
When fucking Kansas State is the best team in your conference, you're in a bad conference.
Yeah. So as a scout, I'm going to watch highlight clips over live gameplay because you're playing terrible teams, and the people I don't. That's just how it works out. That's just how the cookie fucking crumbles in this scenario. Like, I'm not just coming to Colorado because Deion Sanders is on the sideline as a scout. Yeah, it's nothing against them.
The players that are
like you're not going to come into college football and change the scenario or the foundation of how college football is just because you were a great NFL player. That's crazy to me.
Let's be honest, Charles. The people that are coming there for prime time to see Deion and to be on that team, they're not
the concerts in the first couple.
Those aren't game change players. Those aren't game changers. Those are just athletes. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Because you're at best in the next 5 years, if you're Colorado, at best, your dream scenario should be a bowl game, not playoffs. A fucking bowl game. And for the next 2 years, you should just hope to see 5 wins. Right? I don't even think they made it to 5 wins last year. Would they get 4? No, 6.
I think 5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they declined the bowl game because they're going to put them in like the Army Bowl or some weird shit bowl.
Oh, they didn't even make it into a bowl.
Oh, no, they didn't want to be in. I think they declined some bowl game like the Hawaii Bowl or some Holiday Bowl or some shit. Yeah.
It's not like they had anybody going to the NFL. They've got that Travis Hunter. That's going to be awesome.
They had a decent running back, but I think he got hurt. I think he might be done for the year. They just don't have it all. Like, they're missing so many pieces, and then on top of it, your schedule is pretty tough.
And I love that you just said that because I need to argue with you just one point. Their schedule isn't tough. Colorado is just a terrible team, which makes the teams they're playing better. Right? If I'm any of those teams, I'm looking at Colorado as a bye week, and I'm not worried.
Some of them are, yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't the same Colorado team. They think they're better than they were last year, but I don't think they're going to be. It might be worse.
I do enjoy either I'm just not seeing it anymore or the fact that they've gotten off of social media. But when
Well,
you were
they
telling me the other day that they pretty much ran into like a GTA type atmosphere at that university, it's hilarious. The decline in people to that university because of it is going to be, I mean, you're going to have more people going to Colorado State than Colorado for a long time.
Especially after Dion leaves. Like, once he's gone, there's going to be nothing
It might
for that
change.
school to cling to.
It might change when he leaves, right? And then you'll have people leave, but you'll have new people come in. But who knows? Who knows? With all reports coming out that it's GTA style. Now, I would like, before I give us a random fact,
Yeah.
I would like us to discuss something shortly or long, however long it takes.
However long.
Caleb Williams, or what's the ankles dude name again?
All right, I like it that you put it this way. Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. I couldn't remember if it was Jaden or Jalen.
Or you could, Charles, you can say little guy. It doesn't matter. I still
Well,
understand.
talent-wise, he's got talent, and that's what we're going to discuss. Who has the better season, Daniels or Williams?
I think Williams has a better opportunity. The ceiling is probably honestly
Season, sorry, not ceiling. Season.
Oh no, the ceiling for this
Okay.
season would be better for Daniels if he had Kate Williams' offensive line, but that's not the question. Question is, who's going to have a better season? I don't believe Jaden. After watching Jaden Daniels play a little bit, I do not believe he's going to stay healthy. I do. I'm in 100% agreement with you. Should
This
he?
is
have
going
a
to go
better
against
season?
everything. This is going to go against everything that I've ever said so far about the guy. But let's pretend he
About the
stays
guy?
healthy. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
pretend.
All right,
Let's
all right,
like
hypothetical,
Let's pretend that the coaching staff has allowed this individual the opportunity
to grow,
to
the
remain
player he
healthy.
deserves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So he's going to be healthy, beautiful health all season long. If that helps your decision.
1v1, Jaden Daniels is a better quarterback. You saw it in college. But that's like you said, if you have NFL caliber weapons, which every receiver that he's probably has at Washington is just as good as any receiver outside of Neighbors, obviously.
Yeah.
Because Leighton, he's on a whole other level.
So I don't mean to, I just thought of a good question as you were talking.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Is the problem going to be more that Williams can't make it to his receivers accurately, or that Washington's receivers can't catch the ball enough?
Probably watching the receivers can't catch the ball enough.
Can't catch the ball enough.
I'm
yeah.
thinking he's going to get it out of his hands quick because he's going to have pressure.
Yeah, and the mobility, as long as he's sliding and getting on
Right,
bounds.
he's going to be able to stay away from danger until the blitz comes, and then he doesn't know what to do. And then
From my understanding with Daniels is that he's reading the blitz. Now, I'm not sure if this is because Washington has a terrible defense, but he's able to
50-50. Yeah.
Right, because iron sharpens iron. It's why I'm so fucking excited about Green Bay's defense. But I don't mean to go there. That's a wild side quest.
No, we
I'll
said
get
it
lost
already.
again.
We're
We're on Daniels and Williams, Peckerhead. Daniels and Williams. But I wonder if AI is going to read that as Peckerhead.
Probably. Peckerhead.
I said Peckerhead. But
I mean, it did pick up blue cax the other day. So, not cax.
Okay, so you're on. So before the injury was taken out, it was Williams. Are you still with Williams?
I'm with Jaden Daniels being able to stay healthy enough to be able to throw.
Yeah.
He's going to throw for yards. Touchdowns, I do not know.
My biggest fear with Williams is the fact that he's fallen in love with Rome. And I'm not sure if that's just because in his eyes out there, Rome was the better wide receiver, even though DJ Moore was out there.
But, yes, of course.
I mean, because the ghost penalty that allowed the second field goal, and it allowed for Caleb Williams to kind of
won't be there every game. Yeah.
No, and the Bills, honestly, it should have been offensive pass interference on Rome, because that Bills defender should have caught the ball. It was a whole fuck off, but I laughed to myself and I was like, you know what? Even the referees need the preseason.
You got to give the Bears one every now and then.
Yeah, even the referees need a preseason. I think the schedule allows for Williams to play better
and to grow a little bit, yeah.
But iron sharpens iron, and I'm a big fan of that. A lot of people look at strength of schedule. much differently than I do, and even some of your higher tier people or athletes, yada, yada, yada. And I've said it multiple times on this show. I love the harder strength of schedules. I don't want to be in that top 5 fucking conversation. You don't get a break. But when you're in the top 10 and or top 15, if you're anywhere from 6 to 15, I love that section because you're not going to get to exploit. You're going to be able to build things. You're going to be able to build tape. You're not winning all of those games, but you're not losing the games you lose. If you're out there getting your ass reamed, that you're not even in this conversation that I'm talking about regardless.
Did you ever see this? So NFL, the strength of schedule based on Vegas forecasted win totals. So we got Green Bay in the middle of the pack at 19.
Yeah.
Where do we have the Bears at 3?
Yeah, number 3.
Number 3. And where do we have...
the Falcons being number 1 is even crazier.
That's crazy. So where do we have them here? They are... Washington Redskins are square at 13. So they're dead center, almost with Green Bay. So
yeah, just into the easier than average.
Right.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting take.
But who do I think is going to have the better season? The decision I'm stuck on. The decision I'm stuck
for you, or is it?
It is. It's a coin toss, definitely, because I'm stuck on who do I think has the tougher division.
See, that's a real toss up because I think equally the two teams at the top are
because they could be matched, right? Like I view the New York Giants like the Minnesota Vikings. I view Washington.
The Packers, yeah.
Yep, I view Washington with the Packers. I view realistically, this is going to be weird. Yeah, Washington with the Bears. This is going to be weird, bro. But I view Eagles with the Lions and Dallas with Green Bay, not Green Bay as Dallas.
Yeah. Offensively,
just offensively, defensively. I just, you know what I'm saying? Like it feels the comparability is there. So pretty much, I've got it as a toss up. I think. If you sit with Caleb Williams heavy, I think you're going to be wrong.
I was looking for a quarter here. Charles was going to flip a quarter for you.
Yeah, we'll flip a dime piece.
Flip a dime. All right.
Tails is Daniels. Heads is Williams. It's flipped.
It's tails. Daniels. So we're going Daniels.
Both going Daniels. 2-0.
Both going Daniels. I do, and it's nothing against.
Oh, it's nothing against them.
It's as I was talking with Paul about this Sunday because I was watching Caleb. I was very impressed. Caleb has shown me more in the beginning. It's hard to say because Justin Fields in the beginning was really good too.
I am not looking at him thinking Justin Fields when I watch him.
No. But the one difference in the two, in my opinion, isn't, he made that flashy throw. Everybody makes those flashy throws if you're not trash, right? If you're not trash, that's a good indicator that Williams isn't trash, right? But it's a far leap from great from not trash. And the growing pains, yada, 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 that'll all come into fruition. It's just the couple of things I've seen in the preseason has me afraid, right? Because he hasn't learned that this is the NFL, not college yet. And he is going to make some terrible throws. And
he can throw a pick six. I'll take that prop bet all day. First 3 weeks of the season, he'll throw 1 pick six.
Yeah. And the other thing too is, what do you hear coming out of training camp with Jaden Daniels? Nothing. And let me get more specific. Category wise, right? Like football, mindset, character. What are you hearing with when it comes to Jaden Daniels?
Nothing. It's been very quiet. I hear crickets.
Football. Right? Like we're hearing shit about his deep throws. We're hearing shit about football.
Yeah, his accuracy. He can throw the deep ball.
To Patrick's point, up here in Wisconsin, we don't hear a lot about the Washington Commanders unless you're looking for it.
All I see is if I see it on ESPN, they flash something. But that's only because the game went on.
So as I dig into this, I'm seeing a lot about his football. Okay, so now you flip that coin and you go to Williams. Now, this dude's on Hard Knocks. Right? Yeah. We should be seeing and hearing nothing but football. The first couple days of practice, of the first week of practice, we were seeing some really terrible videos. The second week of practice, we heard he's improved from the first week, and that's all we can ask. You even had the head coach coming out going, listen, people are expecting this, and we have to understand there's a growing process. There's a growing process. And then all of a sudden, the conversation switched to, hey, pressure's on this guy. Hey, he told everybody to clean in the locker room. Hey, he's a really lovable guy. Hey, he's got good character, right? Like, you see them setting the safety net for why he isn't going to be what everyone not around him is expecting him to be.
Oh, yeah, they were setting the stage for sure.
Because, I mean, it was all football, and then boom, nothing about football, all about his character. And I'm like, okay. Now, you saw flashes this preseason, but I saw flashes of what, what
we saw
offenses
Fields
were
have
saying.
flashes, too, when he was running the ball, 80-yard touchdowns.
You still hear people talking like Fields is the goddamn savior of Pittsburgh, and in the first preseason game, he's got 2 sacks and 2 fumbles.
Hey, this is the thing with Bears fans. They're going to think the next guy or the guy before him or next guy is going to be the savior for that football program. That's just the way it is. That's Bears fans. That's the ideology of
The
these fans.
hype for Justin Fields was the same as this hype for Caleb Williams.
Except
We don't understand it as Packer fans. We don't get it.
We've never had a number 1 pick, I don't believe. Maybe we have.
We have not been shut out since 2018, bro.
Yeah.
There is an interesting person on that list, though, that's further down. 2015. Do you know who they are? The Bears.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, the Bears haven't been shut out since 2015 or 2016.
Oh, we got to shut them out this year.
It would be fun. It would be fun to do. I think we have the defense for that. But it is. When it comes down to it, Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, it did. It boiled down to who has the better division. And I think Jaden Daniels will be more... I think Jaden Daniels has the opportunity to be more successful in his division.
We had it twice. 57,
long ago.
57 and 59. Yeah, that's when we were before the old Super Bowls. We were boot trash back then.
Yeah, very long ago. Okay. Okay, today, what we're going to have, what we're going to end the show on, bro, is random ink pen facts, followed by a 1960s NFL trivia. Jesus Christ. I ask for 10 facts some days, and it gives me 5. I ask for random ink pen facts, it gives me 10. This is crazy. Ancient origins. The earliest known pens date back to ancient Egypt around 3000 BC. They were made from reeds and bushes. Quill pens. Before the modern pen, quill pens made from bird feathers were widely used. They were prevalent throughout the Middle Ages and even into the 19th century. Lewis Waterman patented the first successful fountain pen in 1884, revolutionizing writing instruments with its ink flow control mechanism. The average pen can write how many words before running out of ink?
How many words? 10,000.
45,000 is the average, yeah. So that's pretty cool.
And then, with growing environmental concerns, biodegradable pens made from materials like cornstarch and
Recycled paper are becoming more prevalent. Okay, what did I say? 1960?
Yeah, 1960 NFL facts.
Yeah.
Trivia.
I wanted to start doing this so we can, and then next week you'll do the 1970 facts or whatever decade you want to give me. You just shoot out.
Yeah, you, me, Paul, Sneaky G-Man, and hopefully Mike is back.
Yeah, we could do that Sunday. Yeah, absolutely. So whatever decade you want, you'll shoot that out to us. All right, here we go.
We can do 70s. There's lots of fun stuff there. Terry Bradshaw. Yeah.
The NFL expanded to blank teams with the addition of... Okay, so in 1960, the NFL expanded to how many teams? In this expansion included the Dallas Cowboys. There was an expansion in the 60s. What did that bring the NFL team count to?
Was it 13?
13, absolutely. 13. Ooh. 1960. The Green Bay Packers lost to this team in the NFL Championship 17-3. This was Vince Lombardi's only postseason defeat as an NFL head coach.
Kansas
Who was
City?
the team? The Philadelphia Eagles.
Was it the Eagles? Oh,
It
that's
was
right.
the
They
Philadelphia
My bad. They
Eagles.
beat Kansas City. That's right.
Yeah. On January 26, 1960, this individual was elected as the NFL commissioner. He was a compromise choice elected on the 23rd ballot. Who is the individual?
Chuck Bednarik.
That's a great guess. Pete
I don't-
Rozelle. I wouldn't have even had a name, bro. I wouldn't have even had a
Bednarik
name.
is the nose tackle. They got the Bednarik Award after, whatever, the best defensive lineman or some shit.
Huh. That's so cool. In the 60s, the NFL introduced the Playoff Bowl, a game for third place between the runners-up from each division. In this, the Detroit Lions blanked the inaugural game against the Cleveland Browns. Did they win or lose?
They lost.
They won.
Well, they did win.
They won. Yeah, well done, Detroit. The 60s was good to the NFC North.
All right, here we go. This person led the league in passing yards with 3,099, while the other person led in rushing yards with 1,257, and blank led in receiving yards with 1,298. I don't need all three, just one. Guess either the passer, the rusher, or the wide receiver.
Raymond Berry.
Yeah, Raymond Berry led in receiving yards with 1,298.
I only
Johnny
know that because
Unitas led the league.
Yeah, because of Johnny Unitas, and
Yeah.
he didn't throw him a touchdown, didn't throw him a pass in the freaking Super Bowl or something.
Yeah, well done. Jim Brown led the league in rushing with 1,257. In 1960, the NFL draft saw the Los Angeles Rams select blank as the first overall pick. The Dallas Cowboys, being a new team, selected 36 players from other teams in the expansion draft. Who was the number one pick in the NFL draft in 1960, selected by the Los Angeles Rams?
Henry Jordan. I don't know.
Billy Cannon. I was looking for Billy Cannon. Well done on that. That was interesting.
I only knew a
honestly, I'm
couple.
shocked. I'm not shocked that you got one. I'm stoked that you got a couple in there, actually.
Yeah.
So I figured this will help us build our NFL knowledge throughout the years, and it gives us a little extra spice in our life. Anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, I think we finished her. We got her good.
Yeah, I agree. For all of our listeners out there, all of our commenters, our likes, subscribes, or shares, we appreciate you so much. The Sports Rehab episode is out. Don't forget, when you go in for your first visit, see those individuals, give them a shout out that you heard about them through us. Your first visit is free. And that's the Sports Rehab, I believe.
Sports Rehab, Wisconsin.
Yeah, Sports
Wisconsin.
Rehab, Wisconsin. Let's see.
It's a Wisconsin Rehab Lab.
Yep,
Appleton, Wisconsin.
there it is. The Wisconsin Rehab Lab. Great group of individuals. Dr. Sam, Dr. Mike, they're fantastic. And we thank you again for coming on the show. Absolutely. We've had some great guests this season already. Season 3 is approaching, bro.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I guess the moment you're in Season 2, Season 3 is approaching. But I think we're getting close to 200 episodes, too.
I believe we're at one. Yeah, we lost a bunch of episodes when we transferred over to Libsyn. But I believe right now, just on Libsyn alone, we're at 120 or 125. I can't remember.
That's close to 200. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. So, cool. And we couldn't do any of this without all of you out there taking time out of your day, inviting us into whatever portion of tranquility you're attempting to find. We appreciate you. We care about you. The world is a much better place with you in it. And we love you more.